Career of one of the all-time greats is all but over.
Nice comeback.
Uma oportunidade de dizer alguma coisa que eu acho que nunca disse.
Let's get this party started.
NFL Game Pass is now exclusively on DAZN.
Let's get this thing going.
Watch every game, plus the playoffs and Super Bowl.
To the end zone. What a play.
It's your all-access pass.
That's how you fight a southpaw. Well on his way to coming back.
Katie Taylor does it again. Look at the emotion.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. From the four corners of the world to the four corners of this ring, the fight starts now! How do you like it?
Off the shoulder. So aggressive, so focused.
Look at these two guys! Still the undisputed champion of the world!
We welcome you to Fight Night in Phoenix. The Valley of the Sun has become the adopted capital of some of boxing's smallest weight classes. And tonight could be an extension of legacy or a true changing of the guard moment at Super Flyweight. It's Estrada Rodriguez coming your way later this evening on DAZN.
When our styles collide, it's gonna make for fireworks.
Rodriguez, the king of the flyweights!
And whoever's tuned in they're gonna see something special.
Completo, un boxeo hacia atrás, boxeo hacia frente, me bajo. Yo creo que no la va a tener nada fácil.
People are gonna see the best Bam Rodriguez to date.
Yo creo que va a ser una pelea que puede llegar a pelea del año.
Come June 29th, I'll be ready.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man.
Los mejores momentos de la vida son los que nos llenan el corazón. Momentos que compartimos nuestras auténticas tradiciones y recetas llenas de sabor. Los quesos y cremas marca El Mexicano te brindan lo mejor en calidad y frescura para disfrutar en familia y compartir con futuras generaciones. Y seguir creando momentos inolvidables llenos de felicidad que dejarán huella en nuestros corazones. Somos El Mexicano.
And we are proudly sponsored by El Mexicano brand products, bringing authentic sabor to your table. Somos El Mexicano. And we welcome you inside the Footprint Center here in downtown Phoenix to Before the Bell. Along the 16-0, Dalton Smith, I'm Justin Shackle. We are getting you set up for the main card coming up on DAZN later tonight, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. And the main event features a pair of pound-for-pound multi-division world champions. Juan Francisco Estrada is going to try and extend his reign as the alpha at Super Flyweight when he takes on the electrifying Jesse Bam Rodriguez. Estrada's WBC and the Ring Magazine Super Flyweight titles are on the line. And Dalton, the age gap. It's been a big focal point leading up to this fight. You have the 34-year-old Estrada taking on the younger 24-year-old Jesse Bam Rodriguez. How big of a focal point is that for you?
You know, for me, I think the age can work in either way. You know, either the older, more experienced guy who's, you know, been around the block more, you know, maybe that's going to play into his hands, or the younger, fresher guy. You know, Bam's got the youth on his side, so, you know, it's going to be interesting, and, you know, both great top world-class fighters, pound for pound best in the world, so, you know, I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, Estrada's coming in at 44-3, 28 knockouts to his name. Bam Rodriguez is trying to go to 20-0. He has 12 knockouts to his name, including a couple of the Kings at 115. It was in this building that he picked off Carlos Cuadras to initially capture the WBC super flyweight title. Then he knocked out Sarisaket Sorungvasai. Juan Francisco Estrada says Bam took down those opponents when they were at the end of their rope. But could Estrada be at the end of his? Only time's going to tell. And Bam Rodriguez took those words personally, so it adds a little bit of extra juice leading up to the main event. Now, Dalton, the co-feature.
Yep.
It's your stablemate, your friend, Sonny Edwards, back in action. He's back in the U.S. He's back in Arizona. He's taking on Adrian Curiel. So you have a pair of former title holders coming off their first pro defeats. What are you sensing from Sonny Edwards as he returns here to the U.S. trying to get a win in Arizona, the place he suffered his first defeat?
You know, I'm expecting a great performance from Sonny. Obviously, he's in there with an experience and a great champion in Curiel, but, you know, Sonny's, you know, I can sense that fire. He's got that fire, he's got that hunger. You know, the loss to Bam last time out here in, you know, Phoenix, it's not really taken much out of him. You know, he knew what he was in with. You know, Bam's one hell of a fighter, and, you know, he's in there with a great champion in Curiel, but, you know, I'm expecting a great performance from Sonny, and, you know, either one of the guys, both coming off a loss, they need to get in there and, you know, they need to put the wrongs right in order to push on to fighting for world titles again. So, you know, I'm expecting a great fight.
You know, one of the endearing qualities of someone like Sonny Edwards is that he backs up his talk. And even in defeat in Glendale, I think a lot of American fans appreciated his will, his might. That was a fight that could have been stopped way earlier than it had, as he was essentially fighting with one eye. Mentally, how do you feel Sonny is coming into this night?
You know, I think he's very mentally prepared. You know, I've seen him in the gym, and, you know, he talks for himself. You know, he got booed into the arena coming, you know, and applauded going out. And that night, Sonny showed what he had, you know, in his heart. You know, he talks, he backs it up, and he also backed it up in defeat. And, you know, that's credit to Sonny. It shows what type of fighter he is.
So those are two of the four matches on the main card again. Beginning at 9:30 Eastern, at 6:30 Pacific on DAZN. We have three fights for you here on Before the Bell that are going to kick off in a matter of moments. And let's take a look at the running order here in Phoenix, Arizona. What you'll see here on Before the Bell, it is the U.S. Matchroom debut of Leonardo Rubalcaba. Splits his time between Mexico and Southern California. He will be in action against Fresno's William Flanoy. Fabian Rojo will put his undefeated record on the line. The Phoenix native will be in the ring against Albuquerque, New Mexico's Daniel Gonzalez. And then the undefeated Gabriel Murataya, also a student under Robert Garcia's boxing academy. He will be in the ring against Carlos Fontes. And then you have the main card coming up on DAZN again, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. We mentioned the bottom two. The night will get started with what is anticipated to be an all-out war between two undefeated fighters. Arturo Cardenas, Danny Barrios for Cardenas' WBC Continental America's Super Bantamweight title, and then a world title match. Yamilet Mercado trying to make another successful defense of her WBC female Super Bantamweight title when she takes on the 9-1 Ramla Ali. The matchup we were talking about a few moments ago, Sonny Edwards, Adrian Curiel, both former world title holders, doing a scrap at 112 pounds. And then it is Juan Francisco Estrada and Jesse Bam Rodriguez in the main event coming your way here at Footprint Center in Phoenix, Arizona. And this has become sort of the adopted capital for these lower weight classes here. I know you've been alongside Sonny Edwards, not just this training camp leading up to this fight, but obviously the past fight in Glendale. What is the reception like for guys like Sonny who are competing at the flyweight, super flyweight in this area? What have you seen?
You know, people talk and they say, you know, people are interested in the lighter weights and they're not putting on events like the heavier guys. But, you know, last time I was out here, the show what Bam and Sonny put on and the audience what he brought, you know, it was one hell of a fight, and it's going to be the same tonight. So, you know, credit to those, you know, lighter guys putting on shows like this. you know, because it's giving more opportunity for the lower weight guys.
And we are expecting a lively Mexican atmosphere here. It's just the day before the Copa America comes to nearby Glendale, and a big stadium there, the soccer match going on. So a lot of Mexican fans coming out to see El Gallo, see a couple of other Mexican fighters on this card. It's anticipated that 10,000 plus will come into the doors here for the Footprint Center tonight. So we're going to have Dalton Smith along the way here. We're also anticipating perhaps some other guest appearances along the way here on Before the Bell. But I want to talk to you here now, like 3 months on from stopping Jose Cepeda. It's flown by here. Yeah. What's going on with you these days as you enjoy your summer?
Yeah, obviously time goes fast, you know, when you're having fun. So, you know, it's looking like end of September I'll be back out, you know, pushing on towards, you know, hopefully it's the European title, and then, you know, for me it's chasing down a world title. But of course I've got to do I've got to win what's put in front of me first. You know, I can't have no slip-ups, and, you know, I'm looking forward to the next year, 18 months. It's going to be exciting for me.
Well, you're climbing up the world rankings as well, and I tell you what, the 140-pound landscape has changed quite a bit over the last few months. Quickly, your assessment of what's going on at 140 pounds with some of these title holders.
For me, it's one of the tastiest weights at the minute. You know, the 140-pound division. Obviously, Matthias last week, recently losing to Paro. You know, not many people expected that. You know, the names is, you know, Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney just vacated the title. You know, I'm highly ranked in the WBC, so, you know, I'm pushing very close to, you know, getting that world title myself.
And then you have Catterall Prograis coming up later on in August when that fight was announced. What was your initial reaction there? Yeah,
I think it's a great fight. You know, we was actually trying for the Prograis fight ourselves. You know, it didn't materialize, but, you know, Catterall Prograis, it's going to be a great fight. And like you say, it's a tasty division.
Mm-hmm. So we are almost ready to go for our Before the Bell fights to get going. Again, Leo Rubalcaba, who is trained by Robert Garcia. It's going to be a really busy night for Robert Garcia's crew. I tell you what, they were on the card for Bam Edwards in December as well. The lineup card there was chock full of fighters under Robert Garcia's direction. What's your overall impression of what you've seen from that stable?
I think it's been a very good stable for a long time. You know, even me growing up, I used to be on YouTube watching, you know, the guys in Garcia's stable. You know, his legacy's still continuing, and he's producing champion after champion. And, you know, credit to those guys. They're you know, they've got a great stable.
And they back up the work for sure over in Riverside, California. Okay, we are ready to go with our first bout here on Before the Bell. Again, Rubalcaba and Flanoy. Without further ado, let's go inside the ring with David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Footprint Center here in Phoenix, Arizona. We are live on DAZN for a big night of World Championship Professional Boxing. We begin tonight with a 6-round super lightweight contest set to make his ring walk. Please welcome Double Barrel, William Flanoy.
William Flanoy is just over a month away from turning 34. He's fighting out of Fresno, California. Originally from the tough streets of Cleveland, he's 3-3-1, coming off a 3rd-round KO defeat in November, but he is about to step in the ring with his 5th straight undefeated opponent, and he's fighting unbeaten boxers in their hometown, in front of their fans. He's no stranger to these atmospheres, and he says he knows how to adapt. He realizes that most people aren't going to be rooting for him here in this match, and that's okay. He's 100% prepared, he has no doubt in his abilities, and he trusts his conditioning for this opening tilt.
And now entering the arena de Teocaltiche, Jalisco, Mexico, Leonardo Rubalcaba.
Well, 21-year-old Leonardo Rubalcaba is Matchroom's latest North American signee. He's trained by Robert Garcia. He's only 11 months into his pro career, and he's 7-0 with 3 knockouts. He said his signing with Matchroom came together quickly after his last performance in Mexico, where he earned a 4th-round stoppage over the previously unbeaten Roberto Navarez in Aguas Calientes, and he is anxious to show that the last performance wasn't a flash in the pan, that every time he fights, he is going to improve and that he properly represents his people.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, good evening, and we welcome you to the Footprint Center here in Phoenix, Arizona, USA. We are live on DAZN for a big night of World Championship Professional Boxing. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored tonight by Bet Online and Wild Casino. Stage front, Everlast, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Riyadh Season, Drip, and El Mexicano, bringing authentic sabor to your table. Somos El Mexicano. All of tonight's bouts are sanctioned under the auspices of the Arizona Boxing Commission. The executive director is Danny Vella. The chairman is Scott Fletcher. Introducing your 3 judges scoring this contest from ringside, all from the United States of America: Craig Harmon, Dennis O'Connell, and Chris Wilson. And at the sound of the bell, your 3rd man in the ring, referee Thomas Taylor. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 6 rounds of boxing scheduled in the super lightweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears black with multicolored trunks. He scaled 136 1/4 pounds. Professional record, 3 victories, 3 defeats, 1 draw, with 1 win coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Fresno, California. Please welcome William Double Barrel Flournoy. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the gray burgundy with the silver piping. He's scaled already 139 pounds, bang on. Professional record, thus far perfect. 7 fights, 7 victories, with 3 of his 7 wins coming by way of knockout. Peleando fuera de Alcatiche, Jalisco, Mexico, damas y caballeros, Leonardo Rubalcaba.
Right here, gentlemen. Chief, let's go, guys. Okay, belt lines on both sides are good, so we're getting full letters here, full waistband here. You got my instructions in the back. Protect yourselves at all times. Listen to my commands. Touch them up. Back to your corner, gentlemen.
So we are getting ready to go for our first bout of the night here on Before the Bell. Referee Thomas Taylor taking us through our first match between the 7-0 Leonardo Rubalcaba against the 3-3-1 William Flournoy. Rubalcaba in the silver and red trunks, and right away knocks Flournoy off balance in the opening seconds. Along with Dalton Smith, I'm Justin Shackle here on Before the Bell. We're taking you into the main card on DAZN, again beginning at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. You see the height difference between these two. Rubalcaba 5'11", Flournoy at 5'6". And that reach, pretty good advantage for Rubalcaba as well, Dalton.
Yeah, you know, I seen that straight away from the first bell. Rubalcaba come out, you know, straight on the long lead hand, and Flournoy walked straight onto it.
Now that jab is a dangerous weapon for Rubalcaba. If you didn't tune in to our fight in Aguas Calientes on the Hernandez-Lugo undercard, Rubalcaba used that jab, and he took his opponent Navarez into a 4th-round TKO. To be frank, Navarez looked like he was through 12 rounds by the time Rubalcaba was done with him. Flournoy getting in some good shots.
You can see the physical presence through Rubalcaba. He's the much bigger guy, and he's walking Flournoy down.
Flournoy holding his own here against another undefeated opponent, but that jab. Rubalcaba has been able to throw it at will in the opening first half of this first round. And again, Matchroom and Rubalcaba announced their signing on June 14th, so this is his second Matchroom card, but his first officially being under the Matchroom umbrella. And he came in and wobbled Flournoy with a right hand. Now Flournoy holding on here in the first round. Big swing and a miss by Rubalcaba. Rubalcaba just recently moved to Riverside, so he's pretty close to the Garcia Boxing Academy. He's from Whittier, California originally, but he also has his family in Teocaltiche, Mexico, in Jalisco. And a big right hand rifled by Rubalcaba. Flournoy has taken some punishment in the opening round.
Yeah, I think Flournoy's definitely felt the power now.
Tries to come in with a three-punch combo. He's met by that counter right by Rubalcaba. And a good showcase of jab extension by Leonardo Rubalcaba in the opening round. Taking a look at some of the action from the first round. Again, that reach, roughly 72 inches. Not too many fighters know their reach off the top of your head. That's what I've come to know when you talk to these guys in the fighter meetings. They don't really know it all too often, but you could see, for this weight class, that jab is not all too common.
Yeah, I think Rubalcaba there, you know, he knew he was a taller guy, and I think from the start of the round, he didn't let Flournoy get too close.
Flournoy, like we mentioned, in his ring walk, suffered his first knockout loss in November in San Diego. So he's trying to go for his first win in 13 months against the undefeated Leonardo Rubalcaba. And he's done a lot of work in just 11 months. 7 fights, 7 wins. He turned pro last July. So he's looking to go 8-0 in his first calendar year as a pro. And again, that jab continuing to spear through and land against Flournoy. It's been a very fast year and a half for Leonardo Rubalcaba. He was working full-time for his father, where he wasn't really boxing. His dad owns a construction company. He was working for free during a hard period for the business in early 2023. One day he went to Garcia's gym. He caught Robert's eye after he sparred only 3 rounds. And Garcia started asking Leonardo a bunch of questions. Hey, where do you train at? And Leo answered, well, I work in construction. And Robert asked him, well, who's your coach? Who's your manager? Who's your promoter? And Rubalcaba said, no, I don't think you understand. I work in construction. So he told Leo to come back, continue to spar. He saw the talent. He saw the blue-collar work ethic in Rubalcaba and his father. And he turned pro just a few months after that in July. And here he is, signed to Matchroom.
I think when you've got Robert Garcia saying that, you know he's going to be a good fighter. You know, Robert's got a lot of experience, so you know, I know he'll when he sees a good fighter, they're very good.
Robert Garcia with a good eye, and Rubalcaba intensifying the pressure just a bit here in round 2, continuing to back Flournoy up. Flournoy coming in with a left hand to the body. This match stays in the middle of the ring.
body shot there.
Left hand to the body from Rubalcaba. You see Jalisco on the back of his waistband, Rubalcaba on the front in the red and silver trunks. Rubalcaba coming in with a combination and swinging away, missing with an overhand right. Flournoy said that he feels he needs to come out and let his hands go in this fight. And it has been tough to measure the distance against the taller Rubalcaba. He lands a couple of punches there at the end of round 2. Taking a look at some of the action from the second round. And again, Rubalcaba feels like he's been in full control over these first 2 rounds here. Scraping him with the right hand. And coming in with a quality 3-punch combo behind the guard. You see the raw power, Dalton, with those body shots from Rubalcaba.
Yeah, definitely. You can see he's definitely got the power and strength there. You know, maybe if Rubalcaba can, you know, not go for power in every shot, you know, touch to set the big one up, you know, maybe he'll land a little bit more. You know, I think he's a little bit eager to, you know, get the stoppage here, but, you know, if he touches a bit more light and sets the bigger shot up, I think he'll have a bit more success. But, you know, overall, it's been a great start for Rubalcaba.
Rubalcaba's looking to go to 8-0. They waived the last fight in Aguas Calientes off between the 3rd and 4th rounds, so he got the stoppage there. Robert Garcia said afterward, like, there were moments where he, in Leo's case, let his opponent off the hook. He thought there were moments where Rubalcaba turned Navarez and backed up, and he gave him some time to recover. So perhaps that's what we are seeing over the first 2 rounds and change. Rubalcaba a bit more aggressive in trying to go for the stoppage. William Flournoy continuing to let his hands go and move despite the more accurate punching coming from Rubalcaba's direction. Flournoy originally from Cleveland. He grew up with the likes of Thomas Matisse, knows Montana Love. He sparred and trained with both of them, competed with Matisse on the amateur level, had roughly 100 amateur fights. But he, again, turning 34 next month. He got a late start to his pro career, fell into some trouble, served time in jail, and that, in his words, wiped away a potential promotion deal when he was younger. And he was on probation for 5 years, couldn't leave the state of Ohio. And then it was only after he moved out to Fresno, California to be with his younger brother where he met up with his current coaches. Worked for a little bit and then decided to turn pro.
I think Flournoy, the more success he's had is with his jab, so, you know, I'd like to see him throw that a little bit more to, you know, maybe set something up. Like there you see the jab there, he's having quite a bit of success with it.
Flournoy continuing to throw the jab, but he lets that left hand down. And Rubalcaba again doubling up the jab there and landing. In a 72-inch reach for Leonardo Rubalcaba. It's a good test for a 21-year-old. Obviously, Flournoy not backing away, continuing to throw his hands, not shy about that. Flournoy evading some shots on the back foot, showcasing some good head movement as we approach the final seconds of round number 3. Big swing and a miss by both fighters, but the left hand connects by Rubalcaba at the end of round number 3.
To say Rubalcaba is only 21, he's got that physical presence there, and you know, maybe he'll not be at this weight for a long time. He's got a lot of growing to do, but you know, the physical presence definitely there, and you know, you can see every time he lands, he's having an effect on Flournoy.
Flournoy doing a good job mixing up the jab, either using it as a diversion or being true with it and sticking it and landing in his opponent's face. There he landed the right hand. And Rubalcaba, calm and confident in that corner, getting instructions from Robert Garcia. Robert Garcia called Leonardo Rubalcaba one of the hardest workers in his gym. Again, he's doubled up on jobs, worked full-time construction for his father. He said he would show up to the gym on his lunch break sometimes. He'd spar the likes of Virgil Ortiz and Raymond Murataya and Brandon Lee, and then he'd go straight back to working construction, masonry work with his father. Good shot to the body from Rubalcaba, then going back upstairs, doubling up the left hand. Rubalcaba and Flournoy punching with one another there. Flournoy coming in with a two-punch combo. This one's scheduled for 6.
Just keeps missing just by a little bit with that right hand. Nice job.
And credit Flournoy for getting the timing down with that head movement. But you wonder if it will be a matter of time before Rubalcaba sizes him up with the right hand, sneaks a good left hand behind the guard of Flournoy, and then winds up. And he may have connected as Flournoy takes some big punches here in round 4 from Rubalcaba. Flournoy coming back with the left hand. May have caught the attention of Leonardo.
He definitely landed the left hook there.
Might have been the best punch of the match for William Flournoy so far. He scrapes him with the right hand again. Flournoy showing the young pup, don't get so confident coming inside yet. See a big exhale of frustration with the left hand there. Is that a sign of frustration right there from Flournoy?
You know, it could be frustration. He's getting caught, but you know, I think when he lets his hands go, he's having success. So, you know, you can't let Rubalcaba be first all the time. You know, he's got to let his hands go, because if nothing's coming back, he's not going to respect him.
Right uppercut from Rubalcaba moments ago. Rubalcaba using that jab to get closer and then polishing him up with the 2 punches, the last landing to the body. The skills being showcased by Leonardo Rubalcaba. Taking a look at some of the action from round number 4. And both fighters landing effective shots, but Rubalcaba doing a good job. Flournoy made him pay for a couple of mistakes, but Rubalcaba keeping his composure. And again, right there, showing the accuracy. Coach, what do you want to see over the final third of this fight from Rubalcaba?
No, I think I'd like to see him, you know, not loading up so much. You know, he's got the power there, but, you know, from what I know as a fighter, when you try and load up, your opponent's anticipating, they can see the shots coming. So, you know, maybe if he just, you know, lessens the power on his shots, you know, throws shots to set the big one up, you know, that's when the knockouts come. But, you know, credit to Flournoy, every time he's been caught, he's responded with something.
Flournoy coming out quickly, ducking and landing a shot moments ago to start round number 5. Going for his first win in 13 months here. He's an adaptable and seemingly fearless 140-pounder here with free hands. But the range being used effectively tonight by Leo Rubalcaba. And it's the first of 3 here on Before the Bell, leading it into the main card on DAZN, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. It'll all end with Estrada Rodriguez in our main event. And over the last year, we mentioned some of the names that Rubalcaba's been in the ring with, but he also sparred with Bam Rodriguez. And again, the big weight range there. I know a lot of fighters go and spar and train with boxers much heavier than them, but he and Bam went at it leading up to this fight. Bam said Leonardo's style is similar to Juan Francisco Estrada's, so that's why he was getting some work in with Rubalcaba. Flournoy meets him with the left hand. Do you see those similarities at all?
Yeah, you can definitely see the similarities there. You know, that's just the Mexican style of fighting. You know, and for Bam, he's going to be looking for the extra weight. You know, Estrada, I think he's physically the bigger guy. You know, obviously the punch power as well. If you're used to sparring the bigger guys and you're conditioned to that, you know, come fight night, it's going to put you in good stead.
5'11" Rubalcaba snapping back Flournoy's head with that jab. Rubalcaba closing the distance here in our opening bout on Before the Bell. Fighting with confidence. And again, moving forward against the Fresno resident.
Rubalcaba, he keeps falling short a little bit with that backhand. Not missing by much, but I think if he takes a little step to his right, I think he'll have more success with the backhand there, with the right hand.
And right now, Rubalcaba moving to his left and then coming in. And credit Flournoy, he's making him pay for some of these errors.
Yeah, he's getting caught, but he's always firing back.
Yep.
And you know that shows he's an experienced guy, and you know, he's trying to fluster the younger guy as well.
Rubalcaba doing a good job, keeping calm and confident as we are through 5 rounds in this scheduled 6-rounder. Good sequence from Flournoy in the opening moments of round number 5. Now, this is a good lesson for a 21-year-old. Getting in quality work, getting in quality rounds with a battle-tested Flournoy. Don't be fooled by the record. 3-3-1, but like we said, 5 straight undefeated opponents. That shows the fearlessness in William Flournoy. Sixth and final round underway between Rubalcaba and Flournoy. Leonardo Rubalcaba in the silver and red trunks. Flournoy with the black trunks.
So Flournoy's coming out here with a high pace.
The snap and the jab perhaps intensifying from Rubalcaba as he looks to go to 8-0 in his first calendar year as a professional. Flournoy breathing heavy, connects with the left hand, then backs out. But that jab continuing to find a home from Leo Rubalcaba. You saw Flournoy shake his head, acting as if he's just unable to solve the puzzle in terms of the distance, don't?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit frustrating for him. Obviously, the longer reach there is with Rubalcaba. But, you know, like I said before, when Flournoy lets his jab go, it gets him into range. The only time he's struggling is when he's coming pretty wild and wide. But if he sets it up with the jab, he's going to be able to get into range a little bit more, a little bit easier.
to the body. Rubalcaba trying to follow it with the overhand right. The right hand hasn't been a successful shot from Rubalcaba for much of this fight. But he's more than making up for it with that jab and the occasional shots to the body.
I like the way he mixes his jab up as well, Rubalcaba. You know, to the head, to the body, the change in the height. You know, I'm very impressed by his jab.
The variance of the jab from a tall fighter like that against a smaller opponent, it is impressive. Big swing and a miss. Collision moments ago. That might have rattled Flanoy as Rubalcaba connects with a left uppercut. Final 20 seconds of this opening bout here on Before the Bell. Leonardo Rubalcaba, he's been in control for the overwhelming majority of this fight. Landing accuracy with the jab. And here, going toe-to-toe with Flanoy as the distance is closed in. A tough but impressive performance by Leonardo Rubalcaba as he returns to the U.S. following his impressive output over at Andes Calientes. And Rubalcaba goes through 6 rounds with the tested Flanoy. He could be on his way to improving to 8-0.
You know, credit to Flanoy there as well. He was losing the round, but didn't back off. Wanted to finish strong, and yeah, credit to him.
And Flanoy answered the call. Never backed down, stepping up. Plenty of moments here in this fight against Leo Rubalcaba. He says at times the frustration, not being able to close the gap, even while successfully landing the jab, is several moments, but Rubalcaba doing a good job defending his space and able to adjust against the 33-year-old. So the beginning of what looks like it will be a long night for the Robert Garcia stable. It looks like it could be beginning with a win as you see Robert to the right of Leonardo Rubalcaba. Give a lot of credit to William Flanoy here. Robert Garcia Jr. to his left, his father Martin Rubalcaba and the Stetson in his corner as well. Heavy hands in the Rubalcaba family, construction hands. And those power shots could be leading to a decision for Rubalcaba here in a matter of moments. Let's get the final call here with David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of action here in Phoenix, we go to the judges' score totals. Craig Harmon, 60-54. Dennis O'Connell and Chris Wilson both scored the bout 59-55. All 3 for your winner by unanimous decision. He's still undefeated, Leonardo Rubalcaba.
So Leonardo Rubalcaba picks up a unanimous decision win and moves to 8-0 to kick off our action on Before the Bell. An impressive performance, showing up on the scene last month in Mexico, and then signing with Matchroom June 14th here, returning to the States and picking up a win on the undercard of Estrada Rodriguez. Rubalcaba getting to 8-0 as we take a look at some of the action from our opening bout. William Flanoy, again, taking on his 5th straight undefeated opponent. he showed a lot of grit, and again, not backing down one bit in this one, Dalton, as Rubalcaba just overwhelmed him, especially using the distance and that jab to his advantage.
Yeah, I think that it was a very good performance from Rubalcaba there. You know, credit to Flournoy. It was very durable, and I think it'd have learned Rubalcaba a lot of lessons. You know, early on in his career, he's very durable, but that jab, it was impressive from the start, and I think it was one of the most crucial shots of the fight for him. You know, it kept him at distance because, you know, I think Flournoy, he carries power. You could see that in the fight, so, you know, he had to be switched on at all times, but definitely the jab for Rubalcaba, you know, it works wonders for him.
Again, it was only about a year and a half ago that Rubalcaba wasn't boxing on the regular, wasn't in the gym training consistently. His gym was his backyard, his occupation, a full-time construction worker. Got linked up with Robert Garcia. The Southern California amateur fraternity is a very nice, tight circle filled with a lot of fighters, but they are all very close. They take care of one another. He was directed to Robert Garcia's boxing academy. He showed up when his name was called. He sparred. We know the sparring at the boxing academy for Robert Garcia is no joke. And from there, he's been guided by Robert Garcia. Took him pro, took him to Matchroom, and now he's taken him to 8-0. Obviously, Rubalcaba's skills speak for themselves. And it's like a diamond in the rough story, almost. Not really concentrating on the sweet science, doing what you need to do, helping your family out, working in construction for your father's business, and then a year and a half, your life is completely changed. It's an incredible story.
You know, incredible story, and to say it was on a building site, you know, not so long ago, and you know, he's under a great stable in Robert Garcia, and you know, like I said, if he sees a great fighter, he's got enough experience behind him, and you know, I think he's going to have a great career. He's very young, and you know, he's going to learn a lot of lessons in Robert's stable. You know, and hopefully he can make a career out of boxing and not have to work on a building site for, you know, the rest of his life.
Yeah, hopefully he can bring Martin into retirement and enjoy the fruits of his labor as his son again improves to 8-0. All right, we have plenty of big action coming your way in the weeks ahead here on DAZN. Only 2 weeks away from the showdown in Philadelphia, Jaron Boots makes his debut on DAZN. He takes on David Avanesian on July 13th. It promises to be an almighty clash in Philadelphia. Jake Paul returns to the ring on Saturday, July the 20th in Tampa, Florida, to take on Mike Perry. And then August the 3rd, Terrence Crawford challenging Israel Madrimov for the WBA and WBO interim world super welterweight title as Riyadh season comes to the U.S. 3 big shows coming up in a little over a month's time. Dalton, which one of those matchups stands out to you the most?
You know, I'm a fan of Ennis Boots. You know, I think he's one of the best fighters in boxing at the minute. You know, but you can't write Avanesian off. You know, I've done plenty of sparring with him. A former world champion himself, so he's going to be going in there, you know, all odds against him, but you know, he's a very durable competitor, and you know, I think that's a fight I'm looking forward to. Definitely
want to pick your brain about the work, the training you put in with Avanesian as we roll along here on Before the Bell. It's time to go for our second bout, though. 2 of our 3 matches here on Before the Bell ahead of Estrada Rodriguez. It will be Fabian Rojo and Daniel Gonzalez. Without further ado, let's go back to David Diamante in the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, the action continues here on DAZN with a 6-round welterweight contest. Set to make his ring walk, please welcome León de Dios, Daniel Gonzalez.
There is 27-year-old Daniel Gonzalez, 5-1, 2 KOs. He's looking to ace his first 6-round fight here, the 4-round unanimous decision over Gilbert Meza in his hometown of Albuquerque on March 23rd. And he admitted this is the big chance of his career. He feels this is an opportunity to show that he deserves to be in this space on a regular basis.
And now entering the arena, please welcome the undefeated Southpaw Phoenician, Fabian Zurdo Rojo.
22-year-old Fabian Rojo, he has fought all over the Phoenix area, but tonight the 8-0 Southpaw is taking the stage inside the city's biggest arena, and it is a proud moment for this Glendale resident. He grew up at Sinaloa. He's coming over for his 4th straight win in Phoenix after knocking out Shaquille Felicia at the nearby Celebrity Theater on March 16th. And Rojo says for fans who have not seen him fight, they are going to appreciate his movement, his ankles, but the power punches are always in Rojo's back pocket.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Footprint Center here in Phoenix, Arizona, live on DAZN, we are set to go with a special welterweight attraction. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing in association with Del Sol Promotions. We're sponsored tonight by Bet Online and Wild Casino, Everlast, Stagefront, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Riyadh Season, Drip, and El Mexicano. Introducing your 3 judges scoring this contest from ringside. From the United Kingdom, Victor Laughlin. From the United States of America, Steve Morrow. And also from the U.S., Chris Wilson. And at the sound of the belt, your 3rd man in the ring, referee Wes Melton. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 6 rounds of boxing scheduled in the welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears the black with the white trim. He scaled 146 1/4 pounds. His professional record, 5 victories, 1 defeat, with 2 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, please welcome León de Dios, Daniel Gonzalez. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears blue with gold trim. This southpaw scaled already 146 1/2 pounds. His professional record thus far perfect. 8 fights, 8 victories, with 6 of his 8 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona, Fabian Zurdo Rojo.
Fighters, 2 seconds. Okay, fellas, went over the rules in the dressing room. These trunks are a little high. I'm going to let you work right here. These are good. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands. Touch them up. Wait for the belt.
Getting ready to go for our 2nd of 3 fights here on Before the Bell. This one's scheduled for 6 rounds at welterweight. I'll tell you what, Dalton, I looked up and we got a pretty good crowd here for preliminary bouts, and that's a big reason why the fans here in Phoenix are so great. Also, Fabian Rojo, who is in the blue and gold trunks, he's got a big support crew behind him here in this arena right now.
Yeah, Fabian Rojo is, the hometown fighter, and he definitely brought his own support. And it's good to see, from what we in the 2nd fight of the night, and how the arena's filling up. It's you don't always get that with every show at the boxing, but it's good to see supporting the younger fighters. It's nice to see.
Over 10,000 expected here for our main card, beginning at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, ahead of Estrada Rodriguez tonight on DAZN. As you see some quality head movement from Daniel Gonzalez in the black and silver trunks. Gonzalez coming into 5-1, pair of knockouts. Again, Rojo 8-0 with 6 KOs. And he lands him with a big left hand. Down goes Gonzalez in round number 1. He's quick to his feet. The power, no joke, from Fabian Rojo.
One hell of a start here from Rojo.
Rojo boasted in the fighter meetings. He said he's really into his movement, his angles. He advised us to keep an eye out for that. But the power is something that he discovered only after he turned pro. This is a fighter when, as an amateur, he lost his first 5 fights. He said he only went 10-10 as he rocks Gonzalez with another left hand. And another chin turner. That left hand finding a home at will by Fabian Rojo.
Can't miss with that chopping left hand. Every time, there again. Credit to Gonzalez, though. He's took those shots flush on the chin and, you know, still there in front of him.
Some early adversity from the Albuquerque native. Trying to swing his way back into this fight after taking a knockdown here in round 1. And a solid right hand meets Gonzalez as he moves forward. Rojo clicking on all cylinders. And that left hand again, whacking Gonzalez. Rojo going full throttle in round 1. Another left hand snaps back Gonzalez as we conclude a powerful and dominant round number 1 by Fabian Rojo.
I don't think that start could have gone any better for him. You know, but credit to Daniel Gonzalez. You know, he took some flush shots there and, you know, he didn't back down. If anything, it spurred him on a little bit more. He kept coming forward.
There's the one that started it all. And that was the first one. Some more punishers followed. And that's a shot at the knockdown. A left hand. That was flush. Rojo, the bigger welterweight here. Bigger frame. But we did see, Dalton, some of those quality angles combined with the power shots.
Yeah, you know, I was impressed by Rojo's angles, you know, stepping off to the side, and you know, I think the first shot won't put Gonzalez down. You know, Rojo just stepped to the side, stepped to his right, let the left hand go over the top, and it was great timing as well.
So a 10-8 round 1 for Fabian Rojo as we begin action here in round number 2. Before the bell, our middle bout of 3. And another left hand across by Rojo connects on Daniel Gonzalez. How do you regroup after being on the receiving end of such a dominant round if you're Daniel Gonzalez here?
You know, it's hard because, you know, Gonzalez is still doing the same coming forward. He's not really protecting. If I was Gonzalez, I'd be keeping that right hand tight to the chin. There, look.
There's another left hand. He doubles it up from down under. And he recording another knockdown here from Gonzalez. And Dalton, I don't know if Gonzalez is using the time, the full 10 seconds to his advantage here.
Yeah, I'd be taking my time, taking full, you know, advantage of the count, but I'd be keeping that right hand tight. You know, he's been caught with every right hand but Rojo's throat. The left hand, sorry. There again.
Plenty of time. Rojo with a crusher. The left hand sends Gonzalez to the mat and out of the fight.
Great finish there from Rojo. You know, the right decision from the referee.
Fabian seeing Rojo. And it is fade to black for Daniel Gonzalez here on Before the Bell. Rojo with a powerful statement on his way to improving to 9-0.
That left hand he kept throwing around the side. You know, from the first round, every time he threw it, he was having success.
I want to see more of Fabian Rojo.
You know,
wow.
Very exciting fighter. You know, from the first round, you know, as soon as that left hand landed, you know, he hooked the pace. But, you know, credit to Gonzalez, he didn't stop coming forward. But very excited with Rojo. He's, you know, a great fighter. You know, he's backed up all the hype, what's been talked about in through fight week, and you know, he's going to be an exciting fighter.
It's as good as it gets for Fabian Rojo, coming in again, a resident of nearby Glendale, the Phoenician, fighting at a lot of local venues and theaters around Phoenix, but this Footprint Center, this is the big time. This is the biggest stage in this city. Sold a lot of tickets, a lot of family and friends coming out in support, and he puts on a spectacular performance here on Before the Bell, improving to 9-0, picking up knockout number 7.
I'll have to say, when you're fighting in your hometown on a card as big as this, you know, that's the performance you want to bring. And, you know, I think he's going to be very happy with that. And, you know, he's definitely put on a great fight for his fans who come out to support him tonight.
Absolute statement made by Fabian Rojo. Just 22 years of age. This is a guy who's put in the time as well, who works in construction. Been working outside since he was 8 years old and seen alone.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Wes Melton calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 1 minute and 13 seconds of round number 2. Declaring your winner by TKO, he's still undefeated, Fabian Rojo Zerdo.
So an absolute power display on hand, and really on from the left hand of Fabian Rojo. Crushing Daniel Gonzalez with that left hand, and yeah, it deserves to be in the center of that picture right there. Rojo improving to 9-0. Picking up another knockout win, his 7th of his career, just 22 years of age. As we take a look at some of the highlights of this quick action by Fabian Rojo. Again, nicknamed Zerdo for good reason. The southpaw showing why that left hand is so dangerous. Started off with that one, Dalton.
Yeah, it was a peach of a shot as early on in the fight as it was. You know, he kept throwing that, he kept having success, and you know, I don't think Daniel Gonzalez could find a solution to get out of the way of it. And you know, that was a shot what finished the fight. You know, 2 in a row, and you know, impressive performance from Fabian Rojo. I've heard a lot about him all his fight week from Eddie himself, and you know, he's backed it up. He's going to be a very exciting fighter.
You know, it was tough to find an answer for that left hand. I don't know if Daniel Gonzalez would have if this fight continued to go a little bit longer. The one thing you could say is perhaps Daniel Gonzalez, a very, you know, a proud fighter, excited to be on this stage. He got up super quick.
Yeah.
He could have taken advantage of those 10 counts from the referee, but he got up quickly. And again, Rojo, seeing what was in front of him, seizing the moment, and he closed the show with more dominance from that left hand. So a second round knockout by Fabian Rojo as he improves to 9-0 as he approaches the 2-year mark as a pro. So big time action here on Before the Bell as Rojo, with plenty of family and friends in attendance. This arena, as we take a look around, it's about a quarter full already. We're only through 2 matches on Before the Bell. Plenty of excitement left to go here in Phoenix, and specifically on Before the Bell. In a few moments, we're going to see Gabriel Murataya in the ring against Carlos Fontes. And this is an interesting story here, because Gabriel Murataya is the older brother of Raymond Murataya, another Robert Garcia boxer, and he's also doubles as a preschool teacher. You don't see that too often. You have a guy teaching, you know, not middle school, not high school. He teaches young kids, preschoolers, not even in kindergarten. And then when he punches out there, he goes to the gym, he trains, the smile, it goes away, and it's all full of punches. So you have Morataya trying to, I guess, highlight his summer vacation here as he takes on Carlos Fontes, who, I tell you what, 23-3-1. You don't often see fighters of that type of caliber and experience on Before the Bell cards, but Fontes is coming off a really long layoff, 5.5 years worth. So you have a boxer, preschool teacher, and a fighter coming off a long layoff. Makes for some interesting storylines in our third and final bout here on Before the Bell, but it's plenty of bantamweight action. We're going to see a couple of super bantamweight matches in the main card, and then we have the co-feature at flyweight, 112 pounds, Sonny Edwards, Adrian Curiel. Let's zoom our focus into that one again, because you know Sonny Edwards better than anyone who we could come up and have talk to us here on Before the Bell. Going back to the UK in December, what did you sense, what did you observe from Sonny in those moments?
You know, we knew what we was heading into. It was two of the best, you know, pound for pound fighters, you know, to that stage. I think throughout Sonny's career, he never really had anyone put him in too much trouble, and probably it was the same with Bam. So we knew we was coming over here into a real hard fight. You know, it was probably the hardest fight in that position for Sonny Edwards. And that's it, that's what happens when the best fight the best. It's boxing, there's a winner and a loser. It's just what you take from it after, and you know, it's not disheartened Sonny too much. He's proved to himself what type of fighter he is. He's a true champion, and he's straight back out tonight against, you know, formidable champion, a great fighter in Curiel, and you know, he's here tonight to go back to winning ways and push on to winning another world title.
And credit to Sonny, credit to Adrian Curiel as well. This is probably the toughest route for both fighters, and that just speaks to what they are all about. And for Sonny Edwards, he was able to speak to us earlier in this week. Media Day, of course, happening every fight week here at Matchroom as we get closer to Edwards and Rodriguez. But again, Sonny Edwards in the co-feature back here in Glendale, looking to pick up his first win in the U.S.
It's a big night of boxing ahead on Saturday. Two former world champions who have literally just lost their titles. Get me the best fight you can get me. I just want big fights. Being the champion don't even really mean that much. We live in a world where there's 4 world titles, 5 if you count the IBO, 6 if you count undisputed now. Fuck the world titles. I really don't care about them. Put me in big fights. Put me in a fight that people stop and want to find out the result of. Someone wants to make a name for themselves from Britain or other in the flyweight division. I'm one of the very few people they can fight to do so. Let's be having it, all of you, one at a time, please.
That's Sonny Edwards for you. He's going to be looking to avenge his first pro defeat when he steps inside the ring with Adrian Curiel only a couple of hours from now. Again, the main card gets going at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. So this is the second time for you, your father, your grand, and Sonny coming out here and getting the experience of the U.S., but also a boxing hotbed in Arizona. What's that experience like for you, getting out, you know, not just ahead of fight week, a little bit longer than the average stay, but you guys are acclimating yourself to the boxing scene here in the desert?
Of course, and you know, for me myself as a fighter, you know, it's not going to be long till I'm fighting here in the big fight. So, you know, being here with my teammates, getting the experience, and you know, it's also having my face around the fight weeks in America. You know, I'm there a lot of the times in the UK, but you know, it's different when there's a fight night in the US. It's a different sort of vibe, atmosphere, but you know, it's a great atmosphere and a great vibe.
Well, we can't wait till you come over to the States and compete here and look to extend your undefeated record. Dalton Smith joining us here on Before the Bell, 16-0, coming off his big win over Jose Zepeda. Bam Rodriguez, when it comes to his last fight against Sonny Edwards, that may have been his most impressive performance. Yes, he picked off Carlos Cuadras. He picked off Sorung Vasai as well. He fought a guy for the WBO flyweight title in Christian Gonzalez with his jaw broken for half the fight. But that fight against Sonny Edwards, where we know Sonny's a defensive wizard, he was able to go through him and take him out early, and it set up this fight tonight against Juan Francisco Estrada, which could be the biggest fight for Bam Rodriguez in his pro career.
Boxing is full of cliches. Better today than yesterday. To be the best, you got to beat the best. But it's a reality, a brutal reality. Sleep, train, repeat. You don't accidentally become a two-weight world champion. You can't stumble upon a unification or knock out 12 motherfuckers by chance. Forget what you see on Instagram. It ain't glamorous. Train, you rest, train again. Wake up, slam a coffee, go again and again and again. Conquer a division, move down, unify another, come back up and claim what's yours. Legends are legends for a reason. But every dog has its day, and the king has come to reclaim his throne.
Recuerda, joven, pesada es la cabeza que sostiene la corona.
Juan Francisco Estrada having the last word in that promo, and he has had the last word with every single opponent that he's faced. El Gallo's 44-3, we know that, but he has beaten everybody that he's suffered a loss to. He's avenged all 3 losses to Chocolatito multiple times, to Sorunga Versailles, to Juan Carlos Sanchez earlier on in his career. And I asked you this, Dalton, is there a guy who you grew up watching that you emulated who fights in and around your same weight class right now?
Probably from the most recent era for me was Canelo Alvarez. Obviously, he was very young from being a world champion, and obviously still is best fighter in the world. And he was someone who I watched growing up. But, you know, you're going back to the UK fighters, it was the likes of Joe Calzaghe, Ricky Hatton. But a lot of the Mexican fighters, you know, I like to base my style on that, you know, mid-range counter punching. So, you know, like a lot of the Juan Manuel Marquez. But like you said, the most recent for me is Canelo Alvarez.
So what would you say if a Canelo or a Hatton or a Calzaghe, they sort of discredit your work against some of your contemporaries, like Estrada did Bam? Did you throw that admiration out the window then?
Yeah, I mean, you know what they say, you know, work and work until your idols become your rivals. And of course, Bam's got a much younger guy than Estrada, but, you know, every dog has his day. And you've got to look at the likes of Bam. You know, he's watched Estrada coming through, and now he's, you know, selling out this arena in a main event for a world title. So, you know, it just shows you where time takes you and the guys who you're going to be fighting.
You know, we talked about the age at the top of Before the Bell. Estrada 34, Bam 24, but also there's been a long layoff for Juan Francisco Estrada. I think that may carry a little bit more importance than the age factor itself. Yes, he beat Chocolatito in December of 2022 in nearby Glendale, but that's a year and a half ago. How does that factor into all this when you're stepping to the ring with a guy like Bam Rodriguez?
I think for a fighter, obviously activity is always crucial, keeping the momentum going, and obviously Estrada is 35, 36 now. And maybe having that time off when he was younger wouldn't have been so bad, but you don't know with the age as he's got older. You know, Bam's the younger guy, he's the fresher guy. Obviously, last boxed in December against Sonny, so you know, there's one way to find out, and that's in a couple of hours.
That's right, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. Our main card begins here on DAZN. We are just about ready to go for our third and final bout here on Before the Bell. Let's toss it back inside the ring with David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Footprint Center here in Phoenix, Arizona, live on DAZN, we are set to go with a special 8-round bantamweight attraction. Now set to make his... And now entering the arena, Gabriel Maestro Murataya.
30-year-old Gabriel Murataya, he's an 11-0 bantamweight and a preschool teacher. He said, from day to night, I transitioned from a charming, friendly teacher to a tough, ruthless fighter. And he is the older brother of contender Raymond Murataya. He's trained by Robert Garcia. And before his last fight on May 19th, a second-round TKO in Mexico over Aramis Solis, which was a stay-busy fight, Murataya had not fought since last August on the Overtime Series. He had 3 fights fall through, but he looks at this opportunity as a blessing, and he is ready to show that school is out for summer.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Footprint Center here in downtown Phoenix, Arizona, live on DAZN, we are set to go with our next battle of the evening, and it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored tonight by Bet Online and Wild Casino, Everlast, Stagefront, Riyadh Season, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Drip, and El Mexicano. Introducing your 3 judges scoring this contest from ringside. From the United States of America, Craig Harmon. De Mexico, Omar Mintun Sr. And from Canada, Robert Tapper. And at the sound of the bell, your third man in the ring, referee Chris Flores. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds of boxing scheduled in the bantamweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears the red with the black and red sparkly trim. He scaled 117 pounds bang on. Professional record, 23 victories, 3 defeats, 1 draw, with 19 of his 23 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Phoenix, Arizona, by way of Hermosillo, Sonora, Mexico, Carlos Fontes. And his opponent across the ring fighting out of the blue corner. He wears red with white trim. He scaled 117 1/2 pounds. His professional record, perfect. 11 fights, 11 victories, with 5 wins coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Fontana, California. Please welcome the maestro, Gabriel Murataya.
Okay, gentlemen, we went over the instructions in the dressing room. I expect a clean fight. These trunks right here, there's the line. These are a little high. I'm going to let you work right there. Touch them up now and go back to your corners.
Well, our first 2 fights out before the bell. 2 6-rounders. This one scheduled for 8 rounds at 118 pounds. Gabriel Murataya, 11-0 with 6 knockouts against Carlos Fontes, 23-3-1 with 19 KOs. Fontes in the all-red trunks with the dark silver down the side. Murataya in the red trunks with the white trim. Murataya saying earlier this week he feels he's much faster than Fontes. You're going to see him dodging and ducking a lot once he times down Fontes' punches and then starts countering and attacking. A left hand, an early turner from Gabriel Murataya.
Yeah, pretty sharp start here from Murataya.
Fontes coming in with a left hand, right behind the jab. Fontes has that punching power, albeit more than half a decade ago since he's been in a pro fight.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Fontes starts. Obviously 5 years out of the ring. You know, maybe some ring rust there. And also, it's the fight night nerves. You know, he's not done a ring walk in 5 years.
I'm sure there's so much that he's been anxious to kind of find out about himself in these very moments as he returns to action.
That's it, and it's all right. You know, you're staying in the gym, you're sparring, but it's an all different atmosphere come fight night. You have the pre-fight nerves, your ring walk, the pressures. You know, but he's been there, 26 times, I think, is it? So yeah, he's got the experience, he's got the age, and I'm pretty sure he'll be fine.
Fontes set to turn 34 next Saturday. The power punching bantamweight ending a long layoff. Murataya. And we saw him in the overtime series. So last night on DAZN. Fought there last August. Had 3 fights fall through while he was going through the school year as a preschool teacher. So his schedule is already loaded as is. They had all fallen through. Finally fought in Mexico last night. Earned a second-round TKO. Back on May the 19th. And a good rifling right hand by Murataya. Triples it up. And it finds a home against Fontes. Fontes coming back with a quality combo. Fast fists from both ends to start off our opening round, scheduled for 8 here in our main event on Before the Bell. And right from the outset, Murataya staying busy with some check left hooks.
I think Murataya seemed to find his range with the backhand there, the right hand straight down the middle. You know, you've seen him land, you know, doubling it up.
You see Robert Garcia again, already his second bout. He's going to be in the corner of Arturo Cardenas as well in his fight against Danny Barrios, which will start the main card. 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific.
I think it's fair to say Robert Garcia is going to sleep well tonight.
Yes, sir. Start of round 2, again scheduled for 8 between Murataya and Fontes at 118 pounds. I know you were telling me before our show here, you've been working the corner too with your father here working with Sonny in the States, but before that, you've been working the corner. What is that like for you?
Working the corner?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done
it's like a whole new responsibility, no?
Of course. You know, you're not there as a fighter yourself. You're there to, you know, be the number 2 for my dad. You know, looking for, you know, advice, you know, feeding that back to my dad as well, and just being that extra voice. You know, if I see something, you know, I'll speak to my dad in the corner, and, you know, we'll bounce off each other like that. But I think as a fighter as well, you know, the likes of Sonny, for me, I've got a very close relationship, and I've known him for a long time now, and just having that guy in the corner, you know, who you can trust, you know, it's just nice to have. Like, Sonny works my corners. It's just nice to have that there.
Gabriel Murataya, he has Robert Garcia. He has Robert Garcia Jr. in his corner. He also has his father, Gabriel Murataya Sr.
It's a very experienced corner, that's for sure.
Gabriel's father, he set up a boxing ring and really an entire makeshift boxing gym in his family's backyard that allowed he and his brother Raymond to practice consistently, develop their craft. He said he and Raymond, they never really intended to go pro, but then once they hit a certain age, they obviously possessed the skills. They decided to go for it. His father, just a big boxing fan, and he built a proper training ground for his children in their backyard. Gabriel still uses the backyard. It's Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It's the sparring at the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy. Tuesdays and Thursdays, he stays home.
You know what they say, don't fix something if it's not broken. Yep. If he's got him to the position he's in now, you know, keep on doing it.
Carlos Fontes moving forward here in round number 2. Showing that this was going to be no rollover for Gabriel Murataya. There's a little bit of blood coming from the nostrils of Carlos Fontes.
Chris Flores, the referee, delivering instructions as the final seconds tick away here in round number 2.
The output from Fontes there, you know, it was a lot more than the first round. You know, a lot more ammunition coming from him.
Good bounce back round from the Mexican.
Yeah, I think Murataya was just holding his feet a little bit too much. He was having more success when he was being first on the attacks and then countering as Fontes committed. I just feel like he was holding his feet a little bit too long that round.
There you see some of the action from round number 2 as we get set for round number 3. Gabriel Murataya, 30 years of age. Fontes made his pro debut in 2007 as a junior flyweight, and he's completed at every weight class between junior flyweight and bantamweight here. He's fought just once outside of Mexico prior to tonight. That was against the former 2-division champ Luis Concepcion in Concepcion's home country of Panama. But that was way back in 2014. And Fontes also fought and lost to former world champ Luis Neri. So 2 of Fontes' 3 defeats have come against world champions. He was stopped both times. But this is a career as a pro that's going on 17 years for Carlos Fontes, despite the 5.5-year layoff. Again, Murataya in the red and white trunks. Fontes in the red with the silver siding. And some good volume with that left hand by Murataya. And you can see Fontes kind of letting his elbow go down a little bit further on the left side. That might have hurt him. How do you sense? Where do you go in reading your opponent to tell if you hurt him or not with a shot to the body?
I think it's different from as we're seeing it from the outside. We can't really see the expressions, but as a fighter, when you're in there and you land a good shot, you're up close and you can see the expressions on the fighter's face. And especially when you hit him with the body shots, you can hear him like wincing. You can sense a lot more when you're in there in the fight.
Before the bell winding down, the main card coming up at 6:30 Eastern. I beg your pardon, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. And the stars coming out. Julio Cesar Chavez just walked into the arena. He's making his way to ringside as we get set for Estrada Rodriguez later tonight from the Footprint Center in Phoenix. And a beautiful combination by Gabriel Murataya here on round 3. Starting to find a serious rhythm against Carlos Fontes. And Murataya letting the punishment unfold here against Fontes.
I like the way Murataya's putting the shots together now. He's not loading up and he's not allowing Fontes to, you know, offload with as many shots. He's there to make him miss and counter.
Another quality body shot for Murataya. The punch output and the accuracy rising for Gabriel Murataya as we approach the end of round 3. And just like Fontes bounced back in round 2, Murataya up in the ante here in the 3rd round.
Yeah, great round there for Murataya.
Taking a look back at the action from round number 3. Murataya with some good defense. And then a lot of combos, Dalton, that stood out from the 30-year-old. Like that one.
Yeah, I like the way Murataya puts his combinations together as well. He'll start to the body and finish up to the head. And, you know, as he's throwing to the body, he's lifting, you know, the body up of Fontes. You know, and that's why it's working. Start to the body, finish to the head.
Murataya ready to go like a bull, ready to charge out of the gate as we start round number 4. 8-round schedule for this bantamweight bout to conclude before the bell, ahead of Estrada Edwards here at the Footprint Center. Fontes trying to make his way in with a multi-punch combo. Now Murataya replying emphatically. There's a right hand that cracks Fontes. But it seems, Dalton, that Murataya is just having his way. He's found the timing, he's found the rhythm, and he knows the distance he needs to be at here to continue to land these punches.
Yeah, I think it took Murataya, 1-2 rounds to, settle in, find his range, but, the accuracy with the shots he's throwing is, it's phenomenal. Every time he throws a combination, he's finding it hard not to hit the guy, Fontes still coming back with, responding to his attacks, but, you can see the damage and the accuracy is coming from Murataya, and it's having much more of an effect.
The preschool teacher snapping Fontes' head back moments before. And again, shielding up nicely on defense as well. Fontes continuing to throw the hands, but the accuracy goes into the corner of Murataya. Murataya sparred with Bam Rodriguez in the past. He's also sparred with Joshua Franco, the former super flyweight champ, Bam's older brother. Also Arturo Cardenas, who you're going to be seeing here in about 45 minutes or so to open up the main card on DAZN against Danny Barrios. Two-punch combo again lands on Fontes. Murataya.
I like the way Murataya is happy to sit in the pocket as well. Defend and counter. He's got a very relaxed style to sit in the pocket, defend, and then, let his attacks go as well.
Make that counter right to the body. And the counter punching starting to really stand out with Gabriel Murataya. There's a right hand that meets Fontes again. And Murataya for a second straight round, showcasing the accuracy, showcasing the counter punching against Carlos Fontes. That nose from Fontes has been bleeding since the early portions of round number 2, and you're seeing why.
I think it's those right hands down the pipe. They've landed many, many times.
Fontes out of Hermosillo. The longtime friend of Juan Francisco Estrada. They've been together since their amateur days. They've trained together in the past. They've always been very close. And Fontes coming out, pushing the volume up just a bit to start round number 5. Fontes realizes that he's going to have to pick up the pace here and try something a little bit different as we venture into the second half of this fight. He's accelerating with pressure and seems like it's a little bit effective, Dalton.
Yeah, he's been effective with it, but it's hard to keep that pace up. He came out that round, up the tempo a little bit, but I think once Murataya, slows his feet down and lands counters like that, you know, it'll slow the pace down as Fontes as well.
Try to score as many quality sequences as you can, I guess, in the eyes of the judges here. And now Murataya answering back. And like you said, Fontes slowing down right on cue. You can kind of see it in his face as well. Mouth is open. And here comes Gabriel Murataya, lacing him with a right hand.
I mean, the durability is there for Fontes. He's took some clean shots, and you know, he's not stepped back. He's been there all the time in front of him with something to come back with.
Hear the thud of the punches landing from Gabriel Murataya here in the middle of the ring. And another left hand meets Fontes. Murataya with some impact shots here in round number 5. And Murataya unloading.
And Fontes is hurt pretty bad here.
Fontes holding on. Out of the clinch, another right hand from Murataya. Fontes started this round strong. He slowed down considerably, may have been hurt moments ago, as Gabriel Murataya is in the full rhythm and in control. Murataya seemingly in full control as we start the 6th round, again scheduled for 8 between he and Carlos Fontes, who's coming off a 5.5-year layoff. Last win was in January of 2019, slowed down by an Achilles injury, prevented him from training, prevented him from jogging really. He's been slowly able to get back, start to train again, build himself up, and get back into the fight game. He's been working as a painter. He's moved to the Phoenix area as well, linked up with the right trainers, and they got him back in action.
I mean, Fontes, he's had his moments, he's had his burst in the fight, but the cleaner work, the snappier shots have come from Murataya, and the cleaner work, and you can see by the faces who's had the most effective output.
And the crispness, it's been consistent. The cleaner shots, like you alluded to, it's been there straight from the opening bell.
I think apart from, the second round, where Murataya just held his feet a little bit, he's put his shots together beautifully. He's been happy to sit there in the pocket, take him on the gloves to counter, and I like the variation of his work.
He's scoring this fight, obviously unofficially. I think the second round's the only one that Gabriel Murataya may have dropped so far.
I think I agree with you there.
Gabriel Murataya going for his second win in as many months, trying to defeat his most successful opponent to date in a 23-3-1 Carlos Fontes. And he came in with 19 knockouts. Murataya said he has to respect the power, and also knows that an opponent like this is going to be extremely durable. They're not going to cave in. They're not going to quit. And Fontes has been standing in front of Murataya the entire time, which maybe makes this performance a bit more impressive from Gabriel Murataya.
Exactly that, and Fontes is no knockover job here. You can have padded records, but to have 19 KOs in 23 fights, you've got to carry power somewhere, and his only losses have been to world champions. So this is a top opponent in front of him.
Fontes has fought in his home state of Sonora in 25 of the 27 prior fights. When he turned pro in 2007, Gabriel Murataya was only 14. But the youth serving Murataya well, as he evades some of the punches from Fontes here in the 6th round. Gabriel Murataya continuing to distance himself from Carlos Fontes in this 8-round scheduled contest. Murataya looking confident and in control as he tries to improve to 12-0 here. And there is a lot of work to be done if you are Carlos Fontes. Round 7, scheduled for 8, here at 118 pounds. And again, Fontes charging out of the gate to start this round. We've seen this move before. It only lasts for a certain amount of time.
Don't punch. Step back. Step back. Box. Let's.
Fontes trying to work inside. Murataya countering off the back foot. You're Fontes right now, Dalton. What other options do you have here in round 7 of 8? And you've seemingly lost.
He's lost
a whole lot of rounds.
A lot of the rounds. You know, I think I only give him the second round up to now. So, you know, for me, he needs a knockout, and you know, the only thing he can really do is up the pressure. You know, defend what's coming back. Always be wary, because you know Murataya is very sharp. But you know, you've got to up the work rate in order to have any success in this fight for Fontes.
Meets Murataya with the jab, but the hands from Fontes is down, and as he eats a left hook from Murataya.
Fontes got through with a pretty decent left hand there through the middle.
Murataya snaps Fontes' head back with that straight right. Now attacking the body. A little over a minute to go here in round number 7. As we get closer to the conclusion of Before the Bell, and Fontes continues to eat power punches by Murataya. Murataya trying to bring some of this action back to his preschool in Rancho Cucamonga, show the footage and say, here's what I did on my summer vacation. Looking to pick up another win and remain undefeated. A solid right hand, I beg your pardon, the left hand for Murataya. He's trying to slow down the forward progression from Fontes in this round, and he's doing a good job right there with that sequence. Really impressed with just the consistent, stable attack from Gabriel Murataya here tonight.
Yeah, and his combinations, his output, he doesn't really give much away. Even when he's missing with the shots, he's not overextending, he's always in a position to defend. And like I said, I just like the way he just puts enough into the shots, he doesn't load up, and the fluidity of his shots, it flows quite natural.
Some of that fluidity on display in round number 7. We get set to start the 8th and final round here between Murataya and Fontes. Just about a half hour from now, the main card begins on DAZN, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. And Footprint Center, it is getting packed as we await Estrada Rodriguez later tonight here from Phoenix. Murataya in the red trunks with the white trim. Fontes in the all-red trunks with the silver trim down the side. And Gabriel Murataya, the punch output has been higher, the accuracy has been higher. And they come in extremely smooth from the 30-year-old preschool teacher. And aside from that second round, it feels like Gabriel Murataya has won all but one of these rounds here in this 8-rounder.
Yeah, I think I agree there. Maybe he switched off that second round, or just finding his foot into the fight, finding his range. But I think from the third round onwards, he's definitely found his range.
Fast hands with a 4-punch combo moments ago for Murataya. Fontes trying to complete the distance here, not back away, continuing to throw his hands. And Murataya, once he gets inside, he is able to exert the combinations that he wants to on Fontes. Full-time fighter, full-time preschool teacher. He said, I want to become a preschool world champion. He recognizes he may have to put teaching on the back burner if he continues to ascend up the rankings at 118 pounds. And he's okay with that, as he's putting together a complete performance here on Before the Bell in Phoenix. Fontes able to land a right hand. 30 seconds to go. Murataya meeting Fontes, a desperate Fontes, with more combinations.
Stop. Stay back.
Final seconds of our final fight here Before the Bell. For Gabriel Murataya, a virtuoso performance through 8 rounds. Again, may have dropped one if you're going by Dalton and I scorecards. We'll see what the judges say. Gabriel Murataya, all smiles now after the fight is over.
Yeah, I think that was a very good performance from Gabriel Murataya. Like I was saying before, the fluidity of his shots, the combinations, didn't switch off that much, apart from the second round, like we said. But yeah, I like the way he puts his shots together, the combinations, very fast hands too.
And the smoothness, along with the quickness of the hands, something that really stands out with Gabriel Murataya in this one. Well, Robert Garcia saw one of his pupils in Leo Rubalcaba win in our opening bout on Before the Bell. He may go 2 for 2 here on Before the Bell. He's hoping to go 2 for 2 on the main card as well, which starts in less than a half hour from now. 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on DAZN. As Juan Francisco Estrada and Jesse Bam Rodriguez will be in action in the main event. Sonny Edwards, Adrian Curiel in the co-feature. We also have a world title fight with Gamalith Mercado looking to make another successful defense against Ramla Ali in the opening contest. It is Arturo Cardenas and Danny Barrios. And Garcia's like, let's quickly get out of here. I got to go get to Arturo.
Yeah, he's definitely got his hands full tonight.
He definitely takes the time to soak in each moment with all of these fighters. And that's been the beauty about a Bam Rodriguez card over the last 2.5 years or so. You know that Robert Garcia's fighters are also going to be following on the card. Here you see Carlos Fontes, again, a valiant effort in his 5.5-year layoff, coming back. And we are about ready to make this one official after 8 rounds as we go into the ring with David Diamante.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of action here in Phoenix, Arizona, we go to the judges' score totals. Omar Minton Sr., 79-73. Robert Tapper, 78-74. Craig Harmon, 77-75. All 3. For your winner by unanimous decision, he's still undefeated, Gabriel Maestro Muratalla.
So Gabriel Muratalla, he picks up the win, a unanimous decision. He improves to 12-0. Dalton, there are a lot of rounds that were given to Carlos Fontes that I don't think we expected. There was a 77-75 score there. Wow.
Yeah, you know, as we had the scorecards there, you know, I didn't expect, especially the last scorecard. I think it was within 2 rounds. You know, it definitely wasn't that close, but you know, I think the right winner won. But yeah, I think it was a great performance from Muratalla. You know, I think he can move on to bigger and better things now.
Gabriel Muratalla now 12-0, as you see him stop for some pictures. His older brother Raymond in there as well. He'll be taking on Tevin Farmer in a couple of weeks in Las Vegas. As we take a look at some of this action in our main bout on Before the Bell, scheduled for 8 rounds at 118 pounds. And Gabriel Muratalla, he recognized that, yeah, Fontes, long layoff for sure, but he knew he was durable. He knew he packed power. That power doesn't leave you no matter the layoff, and he respected that. But then once he found the rhythm, it was all Muratalla. You take a look at some of the action from the middle rounds, and I think that timing, it probably got programmed and set in right around the end of that second round. Yes, Fontes probably won that second round, but near the end was probably where Muratalla said, okay, I have enough information here to go forward.
That was it, and I think after the second round, Muratalla, he started, a lot more output came from him. You know, every time Fontes threw a combination, Muratalla was there to, you know, defend and counter, and you know, I think that's where he got his rhythm. He started flowing, and he had some very crisp and neat work developed.
So Gabriel Muratalla improves to 12-0. We'll go back to Fontana, California. Enjoy the victory. And he'll be right back to training, I'm sure, as he gets ready for another school year coming up. But Gabriel Muratalla, the preschool teacher out of Southern California, out of the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy, he takes the win to close out the show here on Before the Bell, as we welcome you back into the studio here on Before the Bell. Main card coming up, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. It all leads into the main event like we've been talking about. Juan Francisco Estrada and Jesse Bam Rodriguez. Will it be a legacy extender or a true change of the guard? Will Bam Rodriguez be able to carry the torch as the alpha at 115 pounds? He's already picked off several of the 4 kings. He says he won't fight Chocolatito in a match. They're both co-promoted by Tekken. Mr. Honda, there's a ton of respect there, but they did spar. And I tell you what, I think there are a lot of people who would pay a lot of money to witness that sparring footage between those two. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think I'd pay good money to watch that spar myself. You know, Chocolatito, he's been one hell of a fighter, a legend of the game. You know, and like you say, it would have been a very interesting fight, but of course, as a fighter and a boxing fan, I'd have paid my own money to watch them spars.
Well, we're gonna have to settle for Estrada Rodriguez coming up at the end of the night here on the main card on DAZN. Let's take a look at all the action for that main card. Again, Arturo Cardenas, Danny Barrios coming up, pair of undefeated fighters in what is expected to be an all-out war to start us off on DAZN. We've seen Cardenas a couple of times now here on our DAZN broadcasts, and he will be taking on Barrios, who is a fellow Phoenix native. Or I shouldn't say fellow, but he is a Phoenix native like a number of these fighters on this card. The support could be drawn to Barrios here, but again, a heavy Mexican presence with the Copa America in town. You don't really know. I think that's going to be a really good match to start off the main card. And then the WBC women's 122-pound title on the line. Yamileth Mercado, Ramla Ali. Mercado is not like your typical Mexican fighter. It's not an all-out brawl all the time, not a typical firefight. She displays a lot of boxing skills. I wonder if that could play into the hand of Ramla Ali. We'll see. 9-1 record for Ramla Ali. And then Sonny Edwards, Adrian Curiel in our co-feature at 112 pounds. We've talked about that matchup extensively here. Obviously, Dalton, Sonny has to get through Curiel tonight, but what do you think could be on the horizon if Sonny Edwards does get through with a victory tonight? Because we've heard some options. What do you think is most likely?
Of course, he's got to focus on tonight. That's the only job he's got to get done. But I think a big performance here is going to put him right back up there in the mix with the best. I think he could be straight back in for another world title if he puts on a top performance here, because Curiel is for me, he's only recently just lost his world title, so a big win here is going to put him right back up in there into the mix with the big boys.
What do you think is the path to a win for Sonny Edwards?
I think it's just a win. Do you know what I mean? As long as he wins and he looks good in doing so, I think he'll be right back up there with the big boys.
You don't slip there. You don't want to give anything away. I appreciate that. You're a true friend, Dalton. Yeah. Very nice. Juan Francisco Estrada, Jesse Bam Rodriguez coming up. Again, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on DAZN. All the talk will be put aside, and we will learn what will go down. Will the legacy be extended, or will it be the true change of the guard moment for Jesse Bam Rodriguez? That is going to wrap it up for us here on Before the Bell. Dalton, been a pleasure here. Come back to the U.S., man. We got to get you in the ring. Of course.
How many times I can get here, it'll be my pleasure. And hopefully I can have my own fight night here in the near future. So I'll be looking forward to it.
We appreciate you. Thanks for joining us here on Before the Bell, and hopefully we can get you here stateside in the ring soon. We look forward to your upcoming schedule as well near the end of the summer. For Dalton Smith, our entire Matchroom crew here at the Footprint Center, I'm Justin Shackle. The main broadcast starting a little less than a half hour from now on DAZN. Enjoy Estrada Rodriguez, as it was all brought to you by El Mexicano brand products, bringing authentic sabor to your table. Somos El Mexicano. The place is packed. The Mexican atmosphere is going to be through the roof, and they are all awaiting El Gallo and Bam later tonight on DAZN. Enjoy the main card, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.
Latinos, somos creadores de momentos compartidos. Somos tan auténticos como los sabores que nos han unido por generaciones. Somos tradición, como la marca El Mexicano, que ofrece una gran variedad de productos de calidad y frescura.